Creating adorable pattern as a concept that any given baker can achieve seamlessly. You can create an abstract concept on fondant icing to make your cake a sight to behold at any given occasion. This is Baker's World on the network service of the NTA. I am Funke Oyeli. Thanks for joining us.
This episode offers you an opportunity to learn how to make a crusty pastry scotch egg. Scotch egg is a yummy pastry you will love to try soon. Our guest this week is Adekemi Okoronkwo, who has been in the cake business for over a decade. She will be sharing her experience and much more. Watch our guest display her skill in a mix of modern and traditional concepts of cake decorating techniques. Get ready to learn and be inspired as we dish out all this and more for you on the show.
You're welcome back. You're still watching Baker's World on NTA. Today I have with me an important guest on Baker's World. She is the CEO of Granny's Place Bakery, Mrs. Adekemi Okoronkwo. You're welcome to Baker's World.
Thank you.
They see where you are now and they're like, oh, I like that. I like how she's set up. I like how her business philosophy is. And they want to be just like that. But a lot of people don't know where you started from, your story. Tell us more about how you started into this baking business.
All right, so my baking experience actually started way back, I think 1998. Actually, I have this friend, my best friend, and I saw her baking, and then I was like, oh babe, what are you doing? She said, oh, I'm baking a cake. Okay, what's the recipe? What did you put together? Can you share your recipe with me? And she just told me, okay, add 2 cups of flour to 1 cup of something to 1 cup of a tablespoon and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, okay. So I wrote everything down, and then I got home. So I gathered my mom's stainless, bowls. Before you know it, there was something like, something is smelling nice.
Nice.
And then before you know it, the cake was done, although it got burnt a bit, but it was done and it came out and it was edible. And they were surprised, like, oh, so it was a cake you were baking. And they loved it. And that was how it actually started for me.
Many people want to come into this industry, but they keep saying baker's tools are too expensive. They are so massive. They're out there, this tool, that tool. And then the question of funding too. How do I start?
Study the industry first, study the business first, and know the basic tools, that can help you to go by for a while. I didn't have anybody to give me the millions to start. What I did was, for every 20,000, 10,000, 5,000 order that I got then, the profit, let it be 2,000, let it be 3,000, I wasn't looking at it as something to bank or something to spend. So I would always use whatever comes out of every order to buy something. In baking industry, there are basic tools like your oven. You need an oven. It could be your gas burner,
Okay.
you know, the oven part.
Yeah.
You need a mixer. It could be a handheld mixer. You need, certain things, about 10 of them that you know that, okay, I need to start this with. Once you have those ones, you can start.
Baking is a creative work that requires a lot of detailing. When you're dealing with a client, you want to that have so much details. They want to add this, they want to add that, from flavor to taste to colors and a lot of things. And I wonder how you deal with conflict resolution with a customer.
To start with, I don't take my orders via call. I take my orders through WhatsApp. You type your orders, delivery date, delivery time, delivery address, everything, the description, what you want on WhatsApp. So that guides me. So once I go through your order, then I deliver what you ordered. You won't be able to come back and say, oh, but imagine if it had been a phone call. The client might, oh, you forgot what I said, you did this, you did that. But because it was typed out, written out. But sometimes I also do skip some things unconsciously. So when a client comes back and then puts out like, I'm not satisfied with what I got, in order to keep the client, most times or sometimes we offer a discount in their next purchase. And sometimes we actually go out of our way to give another cake.
Seeing as your home baker, I love your place, by the way.
Thank you.
And how do you combine the family life with your business?
As a baker, you also need to bring in your children into what you're doing. When you bring them into it, they are able to understand you when you are under pressure. For example, my boys, I have all boys actually, and they have been able to understand mommy's mood when she's at work. Sometimes, maybe 12 midday, for the time that I would probably start at like 6 a.m. 12 noon, I'll just tell myself, Adekemi, work will not finish. Take 1 hour and go and sleep. So I'll just take that 1 hour, lock my office, give my people work to do, and then I run into my room and I take a short nap.
Now let's talk more about the cake you're making for us today. And I'm hearing 3 sides. A cake that sounds complicated. I'm hearing a suede pattern and I'm hearing crackled effects. In fact, that sounds, ooh, what is that? And I'm also hearing that, you're going to give us something that looks like a traditional pattern fabric style.
Yes.
It sounds complicated.
Yes. Since we're working on a square cake, a pattern will be on one side, then the other pattern on another side, and then the third pattern on the other side. So it's quite, and the techniques are very simple. They are not as complicated as they sound. They are very, very simple. So it won't even take us time.
All right. So what about the Scotch egg? So initially, when I had Scotch egg, I was thinking, okay, that's egg roll. You roll the dough in egg. Is that what she's going to make for us?
The Scotch egg is also another beautiful snack, yummy snacks, and it's also very easy to make. And it's totally different from egg. But the only thing they have in common kind of is the boiled egg in it.
Okay.
But to cover the Scotch egg, you need your beef satis, you need breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And the breadcrumbs could be made by you or it could be store-bought.
Well, I'm going to pay good attention to that because I think this is something that I want to achieve on my own. So thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That was our conversation with the CEO of Granny's Place Bakery, Mrs. Adekemi Okoronko. I hope that you've learned 1 or 2 things from her. Here we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have Baker's Gist on the lineup for you. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
It's actually a castle cake made of sugar, rising sugar. And that's just what we used to make it. It took us about a month plus to prepare it to this elegant look. Yes. And it takes a lot of creativity to be able to arrive at the spot. These are natural flowers, though some of them are artificial, some of them are dried. So I just have to combine them to give me the look it's giving me now.
I'm actually a passionate baker. I don't rest until everything is done.
When I entered university, anytime I'm broke, I'll make cupcakes and go and sell to the other students.
Decorating cake it's an artistic thing, and art is, dynamic.
Join us on Baker's World every Thursday on the network service of the NTA. Baker's World, celebrating creativity. Don't miss it.
I'll be decorating this cake right here. I'll be decorating this cake with crackled effects. That's the first one. Then the second one is fabric on fondant, and then the third one is suede on fondant. All right, so our fondant is ready. I'm going to be adding gold dust and edible spirits together. On my already rolled out fondant. And the fondant is this thin because the cake is pre-covered, is already covered. So I'm just using this as the decoration on it. I'm done covering this, so I'm going to set it aside to dry. Okay, then I will go on to the next technique, which will be the suede method. Now we are going to be going into the suede effect on fondant. And to do that, I'm going to need some granulated sugar. I'm going to need some pounded dried fondant, then some shimmer and shine, then some shortening white fat. Okay, so I've rolled out my fondant, so I'm going to apply some white fat on it. So to start, I'm going to sprinkle some sugar on my fondant, granulated sugar. Then after that, I'm going to base with some shine. Then after this, I'm going to add the dried fondant. Alright, so I'm now going to top with some more shine. So you can see that it's looking beautiful already. So now I'm going to gently roll it out so that everything I've added. Okay. So you have that. You can see how beautiful it is. Okay, so I'm going to also set it aside. Then I go into fabrics on fondant. Alright, so now we are going into fabric effects on fondant, and this is very easy, super easy. I'm just going to be using my fondant, so I'm going to cut it into cubes. So I have my cubes. Then to this I'm going to add my color. So I'm going to add some gold leaf to this. So I'm going to mix it together again. So you can see what I have. I'm going to be rolling it out. Okay. I'm going to knit this one together very well. I'm going to form it into a log. And I'm going to be slicing it out. So can you see? From the same cubes, we have two different patterns that are not even looking, that are not identical. They are not the same, they are different. Now that we are done, we are going to be decorating our cake. So the first thing to do is to take the measurement of your cake, of the surface area where you want to apply this on. So I have this, and before I go, I'm going to be applying water on my surface. Alright, so I'm going to be placing this on it. Okay, so we have it there. So now I'm going to be covering my front area. Make sure the water touches everywhere to the top right here so that it sinks well. So I'm going to be placing this now. Make sure it sits well. So I make sure my knife touches my smoother on the other side. Okay. Make sure it sits well. So you can use this to guide it under. So the last part is a crackled effect. We made it earlier and then we've allowed it to dry so that when we roll it out, we can actually see the crackled effect. So can you see it? It's beautiful. Okay. So I have this fabric. So I'm just going to now which side should I put it? Here. To stick it. So now we have our cake ready. Isn't it beautiful? I'm sure you can agree with me, it's beautiful. So on this segment, I'll be teaching us how to make scotch egg, not egg roll, scotch egg. I'm going to be adding this water to the egg that I've broken. I'm just going to whisk it together. So I'm going to be adding all of this one at a time to my satis. So then lastly, salt. about. So I'm going to give it a mix. I pick my first egg. Then I pick some satis. I place it on my palm. You spread it a bit. Then I put my egg at the center. So I try to cover it. Then I'm going to roll it on this bed of crumbs. So now I'm going to run it through the eggs. So I'm bringing it back here. Then I will do the final molding. Okay, so we are done covering our eggs now. So we are about to fry. And the frying is it's going to be a deep frying. Then it's going to be on low heat or medium heat, because you don't want your scotch egg to be done outside and not done inside. So I'm putting, you have to be careful, it's hot oil. So when you put in your scotch egg, you don't dip your spoon immediately because you don't want to bruise the scotch egg. So you allow it to fry a bit before you put in your spoon. Should be so beautiful. Beautifully fried. There you have it. We have our beautifully decorated square cake and our easy to make scotch egg. Thank you.
You know, I quite agree with her. This is really spectacular. No matter what angle you're looking at this from, it is just something. Surprise too, it's not really that hard to make.
No, it's not.
Though it has lots of colors and it was a bit messy when you were doing it.
Baking can be so messy, you just have to find your way around the mess.
It really is not, from how she was doing it, it really is not that hard to make. Though you have to be dedicated because it takes a lot of time. Yeah. Ooh. And then let's get to the scotch egg. I really have to try this.
So inside.
Yeah. Beautiful color, look at it. Oh, it looks beautiful. This tastes really good. I love it. It's very flavorful. And it didn't even feel like this is meat. It's like crunchy on the outside and very soft and tender on the inside. I promise you, you do have to try this because I am going to be trying this. This is really, really good. And you know what? I'm going to finish this behind the camera. You've done a very good job. Well done. So that's all we can take for you today on Baker's World. Till we come your way next week with a more exciting and interesting episode of Baker's World. You can reach us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. It's Baker's World on NTA. I will see you next week. I am Funke Oyele. Bye for now.